everyone, so today I am going to make a hot buttered rum soap, and oh my goodness, I can't even describe to you how scrumptious this fragrance is. I measured out my little containers earlier in the day, and even from the other side of the room I have just been smelling it while packing orders, and it has just been so wonderful. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is kind of blend up my oils a bit. I'm working with 2 pots again. I have a bigger pot, but I just didn't feel like breaking my back this day, and I already had it all measured out like this. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to stick with it. You can probably see a color difference. This pot is just a hair warmer than this one. I had all of my hard oils melted earlier in the day, and it's actually quite hot up here, but yet they still tried to solidify a little bit. I had hoped to make this another night, but I did not get the opportunity to get it done. So everything's been sitting here for a couple of days, not the milk, so I don't measure out anything that will spoil ahead of time. So this is some coconut milk. Put 1 in each pot. So this fragrance, well, I'll tell you in a second. So this fragrance kind of reminds me of a butterscotch candy. Oh, it smells so good, but it's not 100% a butterscotch candy. You know, it is supposed to be the hot buttered rum, which is apparently a very popular drink. I have never had a hot buttered rum, but man alive, after smelling this, I might have to rethink that situation. I'm just straining out the Lylent because it's a little crunchier than normal. And that's from it just sitting out for as long as it has. It's been covered, but that's just how it goes with me. All my lye solutions are discounted with water because I do add sodium lactate, and I add in some of the milk that's part of the liquid portion. So this fragrance, it's not caramely either, but yet it is kind of caramely. I just don't even know, guys. It is just amazing. We'll see how it performs and finishes up in the soap. Since my oils are just slightly warm today, I don't want to overdo it here, but it needs to be emulsified. I'm going to set this one aside. Some micas here. I'll go ahead and add those in first. So I want some orange, and it's probably going to tan a little bit. I'm going to add in some copper. See how that looks. I like it to full pots, I cannot lie. Okay, come on, stir in there, big boy. That's what we call our dog, actually, Big Boy. He's a big dude. Last check, he was getting close to 110 pounds. And I believe he's put on a bit more muscle since then. Alright, well, I think I will stir this in. So, look at this fragrance. Look how, look at that delightful color. That's just like the coolest color I've ever seen in a fragrance. I've never seen it take on that pinky orange, I guess kind of like a peach color. Let's hope this plays nice. It is reduced to take into account that top. I think we better switch over to the Stika Blindar. Oh. I have a whole new setup, pot and everything, so bigger stick blender. I just didn't think it through. I thought, oh sure, pouring about half of the other batch into this pot was going to be fine. There wouldn't be any problem with that. Why would there be a problem with that? Because I forgot about my pot size. So it is thickening up here, which is a-okay. Just kind of making sure that we're blended in, since this is a single color soap. I may just pour some out and then try to blend again. I'm just gonna get this poured in real quick, like so. Wow, that's a nice color. And then I'm gonna stir it over here some more. Good golly, I'm out of room. Okay, now I can actually stir this pot much better. I did not originally plan to make this batch quite this large, but then I smelled it and I was like, oh yes. We'll just put 2 of the batches together and we'll put it in the big pot this day. Or in the big mold, I should say. Because obviously the big pot I don't have. It has been the theme of my conversation. Whew, it is hot today. It's trying to get close to 90. I could just use a little cool fall air. Okay, so here we are with the layer I poured, or amount that I poured out for the topping. And it's thick, but still quite happily workable. So I'm going to put titanium dioxide into this layer. So I do want this pourable. I'm not going to scoop it on or anything. Just pour it on and zhuzh it up a little bit. So I'm back with the big mold. I can see some soap did not get all blended up in there. Start off by adding in some gold mica drizzle while it's still quite soft, and then I will kind of move it around. This is just mixed with a little of the olive oil from the batch. Well, not really the batch, I guess, for the topping, because it's okay for it to be extra. I do try to consider my oils and color mixing and all that from the batch and how it's going to operate. So you don't want to super fat your batch just from your colors. Okay, so I want this to be set up enough that I can use my spoon. So I guess, oh yes, I'm just gonna kind of smear it around. It's not intended to really have a lot of peaks or anything of the such. I just wanted to, I don't know, kind of give it a buttery look from the gold mica. And then just kind of move it around a little. I'm probably going to come back along maybe and give it a little bit more, just because it is quite soft. Usually by the time I finish this process, since there's so much surface area, that it's starting to get pretty thick. So we'll see. Ooh, this is pretty. This is so pretty. Oh yes, this is exactly what I pictured. I do love it when a plan comes together, even if it's a little bit wild. So I have this lower table just so that I can work with the bigger pot, but I haven't worked with the bigger pot since I've been making these fall videos. So I have worked with it off camera. I've made a whole bunch of soap. I've made sweet tea and luscious lemon and eucalyptus spearmint and strawberries and champagne and figgy cream, and I'm just trying to look at my shelf. And I have used my new Mahusive pot, cauldron I should call it. It's huge. Like, it's huge. I think it's supposed to be for like a lobster boil. You know, those things need huge pots, so I've never actually been to one or anything of the sort. But I've seen them on TV. So I'm just going to continue zhuzhing the top up a little bit, just to kind of give it some fun texture. And then I will see you back here for the cut. Alright, so I am back to cut the buttered rum soap. I am super duper happy with this batch. I just love every part of it. From the scent to the color to the top, it's exactly what I wanted. So this soap has actually been sitting for a while, waiting on me to get to a cutting video. I have all the other loaves cut up and on the shelf. So as I cut this, you are going to see that line. It's going to discolor to whatever is here on the edges. And the reason it gets this discoloring on the edges is because that's what has been exposed to the air. And this inside has not been exposed yet, but it is all going to color now that it has been exposed. Now, if you get a bar of soap like this, you purchase one and you're a type that likes to cut into it, you are probably going to find that the inside is still lighter colored. And that's just totally normal because depending on how long it has had to cure, you know, the air hasn't been exposed to the inside yet. So there's sometimes when you get a very dark discolored soap, as you use it, it'll get lighter and lighter inside sometimes. Sometimes it depends on how long the soap has been around and how long it has been sitting on your shelf waiting to be used. I have some bars here that I cut a while ago, so they're mostly at their full discoloration. This is not a strong discoloring fragrance, so these are over here on the side. I should put them where you can see them better. As you can see here that some of the bars, I don't know if you can see that, some of the bars are a little bit taller. And when you're working in a slab mold, it's not always going to be exactly even, especially when it's a fairly large slab mold. So that's why some bars tend to be a little bit taller. This scent has held in very nice. It's just a nutty, warm, buttery, a little caramel. It's so, so good. Last year, I had Winter Nog, and that was like a Yogg-Nog, I think is what it's called, duplication. And I like this one so much better. So this little bar here, you could see from the make, I was having a little bit of a hard time getting all the color mixed in because the pot was so full. So that one has a little bit of a pretty mica swirl in it. But I do think that I would be inclined to make this scent more than that Yogg-Nog. I just think it smells, this one smells so much better to my nose. So if you liked that one last year, I do hope you'll try this one. Now this is pretty much a bar. Yeah, I guess I can get a whole bar out of it. I did change the size that I'm cutting them a little bit in case I go to a multi-cutter that it'll be consistent. I know everybody wants me to have a multi-cutter, and I will eventually, for sure. Just for right now, we're just getting by, and my problem is I like to buy supplies over equipment. So that's the story. All right, so here we have buttered rum soap, and it's going to be coming to you in the autumn release. I expect that to be in the last week of October. Make sure you pay attention to my social media pages so that you are aware of when my soaps are listing and my wax melts and such, and you can find the links in the description box. And there's a lot of helpful information in the description box. So I do encourage you that when you see a video to click on that little down arrow and see what I have there for you. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.